future generations. Cabinet has approved a network of 20 marine protected areas. This was announced by the Department of Environmental Affairs. So, why is this a big deal? Well, Dr. Kerry Sink knows. She is a scientist from the South African National Biodiversity Institute, and she joins us now live from our Cape Town studios. Hey, Dr. Sink, thank you very much indeed for your time. When we talk about marine protected areas, those are the areas that are, well, representative of this country's rich coastal and ocean biodiversity, isn't it? Give us some of the examples of these MPAs.
Good morning. Thank you. Yes, so our new network is really exciting. It captures the ecosystem types in our ocean space. So some of the examples include the new Childs Bank Marine Protected Area, which is a little undersea hill on the west coast. We've got our first protection for seamounts in both the Atlantic and Indian Ocean. The Cape Canyon, which is the size of the Grand Canyon, but this is an underwater canyon off Saldanha Bay, and then the first protection for the Tugela banks, and a big expansion for Isimangaliso, which is an expansion of St. Lucia and Maputaland marine protected areas, will safeguard our turtles and our coelacanths.
Yeah, just elaborate on that. In terms of these protections, how will these network of 20 marine protected areas increase ocean protection?
So at present, although we have 24 coastal marine protected areas, they only cover 0.4% of the ocean space around South Africa. But this new network will cover 5% of our ocean space. It adds 50,000 square kilometers. So that is an area 2.5 times the size of the Kruger National Park. So it's really a substantial investment in having healthy oceans, healthy fisheries, and for South Africa to cope well with climate change.
Yeah, well, speaking about climate change is very much the buzzword phrase or buzz phrase, isn't it? But still, you have global warming skepticism. You don't have to look further than the US president. But back home, I mean, how much of stress has climate change put our ecosystems under?
So we are starting to see the first changes. We are seeing sea level rise, we're seeing ocean warming, we're seeing ocean cooling, we're seeing some increase in acidity and changes in the chemistry of the ocean, and loss of oxygen in some areas.
Dr. Singh, how varied and productive is South Africa's ocean space?
South Africa is one of the most incredible maritime nations. We have 3 ocean systems, the Indian, the Atlantic, and the Southern Ocean. The west coast is really that productive system with the Benguela Current. So we have 22 fishery sectors supported by our fisheries. It doesn't get much richer than this in terms of ocean wealth.
Yeah, so we can see why the importance of protecting it. Well, South Africa is also, I guess, mindful of its long-term commitments to the protection of marine biodiversity, including meeting the 2020 global targets. Tell our viewers about these targets, and are we going to meet them?
So under the Convention of Biological Diversity, there's a global target that was set to protect 10% of our ocean space. So you can imagine that when we were at 0.4%, we were cognizant that we're behind in ocean protection. But now, by 2020, we're aiming to reach this 10%. Our scientists are currently hard at work trying to identify a further 5% to help meet this commitment. But in the long term, to keep our oceans healthy, the best scientific advice actually points to protecting almost 30% of our ocean.
Yeah. Dr. Singh, thank you very much indeed for your time as well as your insight. That was Dr. Kerry Sink. She's a scientist from the South African National Biodiversity Institute. We thank you very much indeed. Well, evacuations in certain parts